Welcome to Everybody's Got a Price. It's me, Jeffy. Thanks for being here. I'm here with my fellow co-host, the Mustachios.
Yeah.
The San Diego Rabbi, Josh Nelson.
Rabbi?
Yeah,
I don't even know what that means.
Uncle Joshy from San Diego.
What's up? How we doing?
The biological father of the San Diego chicken, Josh Nelson.
Oh, God, that'd be old.
How cool would that be? You just lay a fat egg and then the San Diego chicken
I don't
appears?
know if I like that. Sounds weird, but all right. Okay.
Very excited for this week. How was your week, bud?
It was good, man. What'd I do? I forget every time you ask me. I forget what I did the whole week. But did some shows, hung out. That's it. Nothing too exciting. How about yours? You forgot too, huh?
Stuff. Yeah, I was in New York the whole week. New York's cold as hell. Let's introduce a guest, and then we'll get into all the stuff we did this week. I'm very excited about our guest. He's the best person. I've known him for a long time now, it seems like, over a decade.
Long time, yeah.
Very, very talented guy. He loves, occasionally you'll meet an artist or a comedian or an actor or a musician who has an interest that outweighs their actual career. You know, like you want to talk about football with Terry Bradshaw, and all he wants to talk about is like horses or like Simmental cattle. You know, Mickey Mantle just wants to talk about pussy and drinking. Like he doesn't want to talk about baseball. Dave Williamson is a super talented comedian, a great husband and father, but all he wants to ever fucking do is make you meat or barbecue or talk
I love
about
the meats,
meat.
dude. I love the meats.
The man, the myth, the legend, a very funny comedian and barbecue connoisseur, Dave Williamson.
Yeah,
That's me.
there we go.
Man, that's one of the better intros I've ever gotten.
How are you, brother? We love you.
I love you too, man. Yeah, dude. I can't remember if you and I met before I moved to LA, but when I moved to LA, which was now 12 or 13 years ago, we had a lot of mutual friends, so we became fast friends.
Yeah.
At least that long, if not longer. For
Yeah,
sure.
it's been a while.
So
You're the best. I actually referenced you just this weekend because a woman was wearing a Florida, I think it was like in the Keys, or it was somewhere, and it was like a crab thing. And I was like, wait, was the crab thing also have like a barbecue part to it? Because I almost did that.
I don't
But
know.
she said it
restaurant?
wasn't.
Oh.
No. Because remember, there was like some festival where they were having a bunch of like barbecue, and you went and did it?
Oh, yeah. I thought you meant the time that you and I went there.
No. It was a thing you tried to get me to go to, but you did.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So the past 2 years, they started this a barbecue festival for charity, but it's also like a fishing tournament, a lobster tournament, and a big giant barbecue cook-off.
Yeah.
And there's all these heavy hitters. It's for children's pediatric cancer research. And I was just honored because I've done a lot of stuff around the barbecue world the past 7 or 8 years since I started really getting into this, but I've never actually like captained my own team.
Sure.
You know? So I was like, "Are you guys sure you want me?" They're like, "Yeah, man, we want you to have your own team." Because I was like, "I'll just be on someone else's team." Like,
Yeah.
no. So I put a team together, and the first year we did really, really well, but we didn't win anything because the way that they had the scoring with like the fishing and the lobstering and like the People's Choice, like even we got first place in 3 out of 4 of the proteins that we
Nice.
cooked with the blind taste test with the judges, and we didn't win anything. So they adjusted the scoring a little bit to make it make more sense the second year.
Yeah.
And we just had a phenomenal fishing and lobstering day as well. And then we had like a bunch of top 5 finishes. So the second year, I was like, man, we missed our window to win this thing because there's all these heavy hitters, and then there's even more of them coming the second.
Yeah.
All the famous guys that host the Pitmaster TV shows or whatever. And we ran it back with the same team year 2, and we won the grand championship. dude.
Nice.
It was like a movie. I was like, I can't believe after like being left out in the cold last year, we came back and we won it, dude.
That's crazy. Yeah, I wonder why you're not on this might be like when people come up to us and go, why aren't you on Netflix? Or you should be on Breaking Bad. But like you should have like a barbecue show. I watched a show about barbecue. I love any kind of like competition reality show. And there was like a barbecue version of one. And Michelle Bateau?
Yep.
Michelle Bateau?
Yeah.
How do you say her last name?
Batu,
Michelle Bateau?
She does an awesome job hosting that show.
Oh, I disagree.
But
I think that Michelle is great. No disrespect to her. She had no business being as the host of that show. She's like a heavy-set, light-skinned black woman who married a foreign white guy, and like her whole thing is like, I'm sass. I'm like, and like she knew nothing about barbecue.
well, so I'll tell you the first year, I forget the guy's name.
It'd be like having me host like a show about,
Traveling with old guys.
women's rights or something. No, it was totally opposite.
Yeah, I got you.
It made no sense. She's not a barbecue person.
Yeah. Well, so when she took it over, because I can't remember the dude's
I'm like
name.
such an old guy. What are you talking about? That made perfect sense that I traveled with old guys. I smoke cigars. And
I know
don't
you're
shut
like
up
still
about,
best friends with them.
Yeah,
like,
I don't shut up about young people all the time. I'm
I
a
sat next
pretty
to-
old soul, which means I'm racist.
I sat next to Henry Winkler on a plane.
Clip that.
And I
100%.
and I was like, hey Henry, I don't want to bug you, but I know you know my friend Jeff died. And he's like, love Jeff.
Yeah, it makes me so happy.
Yeah. And then I did a crossword puzzle with his wife.
Oh, nice, Stacy. Yeah, she's the best.
Yeah, she was awesome.
That's fun.
But
go ahead, talk about that show with Michelle.
So like I can't remember the dude's name who hosted the first year, which I'm embarrassed, but he's like passionate about barbecue and has hosted a lot of shows and whatever. And then he didn't come back for season 2, and they got her probably because she was in like the Netflix machine or whatever.
Sure.
But
she's great.
Right out the gate, the first episode, she said, I don't know anything about barbecue.
Right.
But
that annoyed me.
yeah, but
Because she's great. She's charming. She's funny.
Yeah.
She's got a great personality. She's whatever. But you think if she doesn't know about it, she would ask the questions of like a person who is. It's like having a host that doesn't know anything about hip hop interviewing, but Flava Flav.
I do have to say, like, I know this is going to sound like I'm just taking the high road or whatever, because trust me, there's nothing more I want than to hate on me not getting that gig,
Yeah, you'd have been
but
great.
I have to say, I thought she did a great job with it, because they have the barbecue experts that are the judges that they chime in a lot, so they kind of play the role
great on
as
that
the
show.
as the experts that chime in, and then it kind of works that she's the layman who asks the questions probably the viewers are thinking, So if it was one expert asking another expert questions, it's just going to be all inside baseball, So she does do a good job keeping it entertaining. But you're right. I should have a job like that. You're absolutely right.
Yes. Also, you can ask those questions. Like you don't have to make it inside baseball. You're a comedian and you know how to like talk to people.
Sure.
You would have asked those questions. Like, oh, explain to the people how you like that. That helps.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's in the cards. I mean, I've pitched and just about sold 2 shows that didn't end up going just because you know how this town works, But it'll happen, man. And I'm just after the last one, I just was like, you know what, I'm gonna start just making my own content and leaning into it.
Yeah.
And just do a better job.
Tell us about this hat you're wearing.
Dude, I wore this outfit for you because I thought you'd really appreciate it.
I love it.
And I thought you might even know about it a little bit. But so this is a minor league ball team, which I know you like, the baseball.
Yep, I love baseball. And also minor league teams are notorious for having the best
totally
sense of humor about their hats and their uniforms and stuff like that. And especially since social media has taken off, you see some wild ones which are like so cool. But the reason I don't know about this is because there's 9 million minor league teams, so it's hard to keep up with them all. Yeah.
Well, and this one's kind of it's under the radar because it's a team called the Round Rock Express, which is just outside Austin, I believe.
Cool.
Round Rock, Texas. And Nolan Ryan is one of the owners.
Holy
so
crap.
That's why they're called the Express.
Yeah, but I love that.
Yeah. And he also is a rancher. So once a season for a weekend of games, they rebrand to the Round Rock Briskets to pay homage to Texas barbecue and the cattle industry and everything there. So they caught wind of me through a mutual friend. And they just sent me so much Round Rock Briskets gear. I love it. It's like,
it's perfect.
Yeah, it's cool.
I have like 7 different versions of this hat, and they're like my favorite thing ever.
I'm going to buy that hat just because Nolan Ryan owns the team.
Well,
he's my favorite baseball player that's ever lived.
Yeah. If
Griffey's probably my number
if you're the same hat size as me, I got a couple I can give you.
No, sincerely, Nolan Ryan is the greatest.
Does he hang around there at all?
Oh, I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
I heard that he's not like a very friendly guy.
Gotcha.
Which is also why he never won a Cy Young, because all the writers hated him.
Yeah.
Like he would throw a no-hitter and like if you watch a guy throw, just like walk-off single to win a game, they jump around like they won the World Series. Like baseball is very fun now, which I support. Nolan Ryan throw a no-hitter and just shake the catcher's hand.
Yeah.
And they're trying to celebrate and he's like he doesn't care. Like he's very. So I've been trying to get him to come to my comedy shows when I play in Austin, and like people are like, I don't think Nolan Ryan wants to see your comedy. I was like, all right, fair enough. But like
he doesn't want to see any comedy.
He's not into silly.
I love him so much, but like he is a cattle guy and like deals with cows all day and like is dealing with all.
Isn't it funny meeting these guys who like were our heroes as kids, or these like larger than life figures, and now like I met Wade Boggs.
Oh, nice. He just just beat his cancer literally this week. So
way
shout
to
out to
go,
Wade
Wade.
Boggs. Nice job.
I thought you were gonna go a different direction with
No,
that.
no, no.
That's really,
No, he rang the bell,
was-
and it was a big deal. Like
sounded like
he's
beat
cancer free. He's
It was
cancer
like
free.
beating his.
Yeah,
No,
so
no,
like
no.
beat his wife.
He's
or
the best.
something.
But yeah, I met Wade Boggs. He was like so down to earth, and he started flirting with my mom.
Nice.
And I'm just like,
Ah.
Wade Boggs is just a dude.
Still got it.
Yeah.
Could have been your dad, bro.
Boy.
Wade Boggs is the best, dude. Well, most of the interactions I have with all of like my heroes as a kids are the best. Like Hulk Hogan was awesome, freaking Rogan's cool, like Jordan Peterson, all this different stuff. But like, there's certain guys they have no interest, and that's okay. Like that's just like Greg Maddox. I know a girl. Shout out to Mackenzie in. Gosh, I'm trying to think what state it is. Oh, I guess Reno, or sorry, Nevada. And she works for Greg Maddox and Greg Maddox's wife. And I was like, hey, do you think Greg will come to our show tonight? And she goes, let me ask him. And like we're all like, dude, Greg Maddox might come to the show tonight. He told her, I don't really like comedy. And then like I was like stand-up comedy? She goes, no, he just doesn't like comedy. Like he just
Not big into happiness.
which is crazy because he's also
Kinda
like
checks
this,
out.
like a guy who pranks his teammates
Yeah.
and stuff. Like back in the day, like you think he'd have a great sense of humor, and then he goes, "But I can sign a ball for him if he wants." I'm like, I'm not 8.
But yes, please.
Yeah, I know. But in my mind, I was like, "Don't
Can you make it out too, Jeff?
Out of pride, I was like, "Don't give me a ball signed
Yeah.
by him. I'm a grown man." But yeah, there's exceptions, and I think Nolan Ryan's one of those guys too. Like he might shake my hand someday, but I don't think he's gonna be at the show. Like, he's not gonna be like Kill Tony going, "Hey, send me shots."
What is it? What does it consist of a barbecue team?
So that particular competition, it's just 4 people, and so because since they have the fishing element, they can't have like 10 people on a team because you got to send them out on a boat or whatever. So that's just 4 people, and I honestly think part of the reason why our team did so well is because a lot of the other teams were made up of like just dream teams. It's like 4 big names, and they're just not used to like specifically working together, those 4 guys. It's me. It's my buddy Jody, who works for a company called RecTech, who's been really kind to me over the years, and me and Jody have done a bunch of content and cooked together and events and whatever. So we're just really good at working together. And then my buddy Roy, who's one of the producers at the Dan Le Batard show. He's just a super passionate barbecue guy. So I think we all just know our lanes. Like, Roy's not showing up as like a guy who's been on TV for barbecue or something. He's just like happy to be there and willing to chip in and be like,
you need
"Yo."
some guys just to
I feel like
listen.
that goes a long ways. Too.
Yeah, like dude, he'll totally like prep this and clean that up and go make a run for he's just like, dude, what do we do?
You
He's
tell
not
him what
going,
to do.
oh,
Yeah.
Gordon Ramsay's not even here. You're like,
Yeah, and then I let Jody run point as like our captain kind of, because Jody he cooks every day for his job,
Sure.
So I'm like, Jody, I'm here to support you. So me and Jody kind of divvy up the proteins, and I just think we work well together, man. I think that goes a long way.
Here's the
it's like
question.
it's sports. It's teamwork. It's like it's what I've learned from like coaching water polo for 25 years and stuff. It's like everything in life is just working together. I've had this realization recently that like stand-up comedy, I'm trying to like reinvigorate my passion for it a little bit because I've been doing it for so long, and I finally realized I think I'm at a point in my life where I love things where I'm part of a team. Like, like I don't mind being a leader, and I don't mind being like, on my own in some regards. Like, but I like when I have a victory, I like sharing that with people. And I think when you're younger in your career, like all your buddies you start out with, you are more of a team, or you're an opening act. So like you're part of the team with the headliner. And now when you're just like, I'm going somewhere and I'm by myself in a hotel room and I'm doing a 3-night run somewhere and I'm headlining, it's just me. You know what I mean?
But the audience is the team.
Yeah.
I'm being honest. You're leading them in your ideas.
Yeah.
They're all there. It's a good comedy is not a monologue. It's a dialogue. You're speaking with them. Like you need to lead them on that charge. I think that's how I feel, at least.
I don't disagree with you, but I think that the audience is only once they're there. Yes.
Yeah.
And if I guess maybe my point more is if I could get that audience to now connect with me and stay on my team through a season.
Sure.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
But it's not the way it is always. It's like you're struggling to sell tickets and you're doing everything you can to promote, and then your team doesn't show up for you that night.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, I guess I just mean like while you're up there, like that's what I like because I'm leading that charge on that.
Yeah.
I've got to sell them my idea. I've got to sell them the premise. I've got to sell them the ideology of what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're on stage, you're giving the pep talk, you're getting them to go, yeah, we're on board.
Yeah, and then I go relax in my quarters. I don't. The team's no longer with me after the show, but I love that about you. I do see that a lot. Like you do thrive in a team. Well, you're also a dad, so that's in you too. You're leading the charge at your house and with them. And
well, I'm just trying to figure out ways to incorporate that team element into like the comedy, if that doesn't sound too cheesy. Like so I'm kind of taking a step back and now looking like, what kind of podcast do I want to have where it's not just me and one person? It's more of like you're building a community,
collaborative.
What kind of now the barbecue thing is doing that for me because it's different. So it's like I have my monthly show, that you've been to before, where I serve barbecue in the back and people show up early and they mingle. And now by the time the show starts, like everyone's kind of invested in each other's success, and it's like it makes a whole. So I'm really trying to use the barbecue to bring more of a community and team approach to comedy. That makes sense.
I could tell you 20 reasons why I like stand-up comedy. That's how obsessed with it I am. Or I could tell you, 10 reasons why baseball is great or whatever. What is it about barbecue that does it for you? Like what is it? Why? Or have you ever thought of that? Or
for me, it's probably a big reason why I fell in love with stand-up comedy. It makes people happy. Okay. Like when people show up at your house and they see, oh my God, you made a brisket for 12 hours?
Yeah.
Like, man, you really put some love into this, And when I wanted to bring beef ribs to you guys today, like just the gesture of, like if I showed up with a couple burgers.
Sure,
dude.
You
didn't.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to.
I actually was going to make you a cake.
Yeah.
I love cake.
I was going to give you a bunch of money, but
Yeah, I forgot.
I forgot. No, dude.
Man, well, I have Zelle. But, like if I showed up here and I threw a bunch of burgers down, you guys would be like, well, that's cool. Thanks for thinking of us when you went to the drive-thru. But if I showed up with beef ribs on a cool cutting board and, sliced it off for you, you guys would be, your minds would be blown at that gesture. It's like, so barbecue is truly about community and about making people happy. And I think that's why I'm so drawn to it. And it's delicious.
Last year, I only had 3 home-cooked meals. And one of them, the first one of the year, was like in February at our buddy Chris Meyer's house. His wife Abby made it, and I think Abby thought I was being condescending because I was so thankful and so like, this is so good. And she's like, all right, he's laying it on real thick. Yeah. But it's like I just never get home cooked meal, and I was like, it was so sweet.
Yeah.
And like on there, there was no tab afterwards. Like I didn't have to like pay. Yeah. And I just couldn't get over.
I think I paid for all the groceries.
No,
for that
you
one.
did not. But it's such a good feeling when someone cooks for you, or like when someone makes something.
Also, you're good at it though. Like if I said I was barbecuing for a bunch of dudes, no one would be excited about it.
We would. It just we wouldn't enjoy it the same.
It wouldn't be good.
Still nice.
I know it's not going to be good though,
dude. It was an eye-opening experience for me because I started just because I liked eating barbecue,
right? Of course.
And then I got mad that I couldn't get good barbecue in LA. I'd go do a gig in Texas and I'd eat this awesome brisket. And I'd come back and I'd get. So finally, I was just like, I'm teaching myself, and I bought a smoker and I was bad at it for a long time, but I just kept
like comedy.
Yeah, but when I started putting pictures on Instagram and then I'd go to the Improv to do a set, it's all anyone wanted to talk about. Was
that's why I haven't shut up about it since you got here. But I will say this. It's a question I've been wondering. Is barbecue a poor white trash thing or a poor black guy thing? What is it?
Both.
Well, I know it's both now, but where did we, I watched that show and I'm like, oh, this poor black guy, he's going to crush it. And then I'm like, nah, that redneck guy that has moonshine, he's going to beat the black guy. But it's like, what is it? Is it just a blue collar thing? Or
well, it's changed, right? So even just since I got involved, it's like become such a, I don't know, it's kind of like the craft beer boom of like 20 years ago, right? Sure. It's like that's where barbecues come now because for generations and generations, the only people that really knew how to barbecue were someone whose like uncle gave them their old smoker and taught them how to do it, But now with YouTube and social media,
guys are making out of everything now.
Yeah, like people, and you can get a big green egg and pump out amazing barbecue or a pellet smoker. Like it's a lot more accessible to every realm of person. The rich guy who just wants to do it on the weekend, and you
Yeah.
know, guys like me. Who
You
get a
like
little
the
more into it,
nice
whatever.
stuff because they give you free nice stuff, and so you're cooking with the finest. But I predict that in the future you're gonna get so much free shit that you're gonna become the guy who's like, I made this out of a tin. You know, like that'll be the future for you.
Well, I mean, cooking on the road, I've certainly had to just make
Get creative.
just make a grill out of an aluminum pan. And
It's funny.
like, dude, one time,
Those would be good videos.
yeah, when I was traveling with Bert, this company gave us like probably $2,000 worth of just insane dry age, steaks. You know, just I mean, insane. And the grill wasn't on the like I had my smoker, but I didn't have the grill.
Yeah.
So I just made a grill out of trash, basically.
Really?
And I'm in the alley on the side of a theater, and I'm cooking these like expensive ass steaks, over just lumped charcoal and a grill grate that I pull off something else.
You ever had a steak in Alaska?
I've been to Alaska.
Next time you go to Alaska, go to a place called Tommy G's.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tommy G's.
They have a gig up there?
There's gigs up there. That's why I was there for sure. But like we were in like I don't even know, Fairbanks or something like that, and they were like, we got to take you to the steak place. The steaks were in. I felt guilty being there. Like I was like, I can't appreciate this the way someone like you could. What are you gonna say?
Oh, I'm laughing because he made a grill, and I think you could pay you and I $1,000 if we could make a grill, and you and I would both have to sit there and be like, sorry, dude, we don't get the money.
And I'll take it. I'll put it more back on me. You could give me the finest barbecue equipment in the world, where it's super simple. I'd ruin it, or like I would like screw it up somehow, or I'd burn my hand, and we wouldn't get to eat.
He said he made his own grill, and I was just looking at you and I like, oh god, we couldn't do that shit at all,
I'm useless.
bro.
But it's shocked that I'm not married, just for survival alone.
But that's why this has been like such a eye-opening experience for me, right? Is because 7 years ago or whatever it was when I first started, I was always into grilling, right? But the smoking meat side just started not that 7 or 8 years ago, and I bought my first smoker. It was just a cheap offset from Home Depot or somewhere, and literally I saw like the pictures pop up on my phone. I put wood chips on the drip tray, and I put charcoal over in this box. I just looked at it and thought, I was like, well, this makes sense. And it's totally the wrong place to put everything.
Yeah.
And I knew nothing. I was starting from zero. And now I won a champion. I won a grand championship in this thing, So it's like, for me, I'm like, dude, you can learn something new and really lean into it and put the time and the effort in. Cool. And
that's my
have success.
advice to every young man. Like, even I got a buddy, I won't say his name, but he's like obsessing about like girls and getting a girlfriend and wants a girlfriend and all this, trying to get laid. And I'm like, just have some interests. Dig into some interest, learn how to horseback ride or golf or video game. Do something.
Yeah.
Women will find it. Maybe not video games.
You didn't do horseback riding, did you?
I said that because he's actually going to get into horseback riding. But my point is, like, there'll be chicks that are like, they'll be like, you're into horses? I'm into horses. You'll meet some girls in whatever the interest it is. Just trying to find them and take them to dinners is not going to work. Just forget about it. Dive into something, become an expert of something, or have an interest.
Also, get really hot.
One of the biggest keys is like admitting that you're not an expert, right? Because like that's why I started my podcast. It was literally I just wanted to like have guys who are experts on and ask them questions because I wanted to learn. And
it's humbling to learn things.
Totally,
it's a great feeling to be the bad person that's trying to learn. It's vulnerable.
But like I grew up in the car business, right? And I think by the time I was actually in the car business, right, as a young man, I felt too embarrassed to ask simple questions because I felt like people were going to think it's stuff I should already know.
Yeah, they think you're stupid.
Yeah, so like a mechanic would be telling me something the customer needs to do, and I'm just like, yeah, I agree. And then I walk away like, I don't know how to fucking explain this to that,
Bad.
But with barbecue, I had no problem, looking at one of those guys in the eyes and saying like, yo, man, did I put the wood chips in the right place? No, you put it in the wrong place. Oh, all right. And then I made this
because you got into it at an older age. It's an immature thing to be like just trying to fit in, and you learned that at a mature age where you're okay going, why would I know this?
Yeah. And it all goes back to being coachable.
I agree. No, but like my nephew, like we were shooting hoops and he kept getting frustrated because the ball was heavy and the hoop is high. You know, he's probably a little too young to be playing on a full-size thing. But I didn't give a shit. I was like, well, let's just play. And he kept missing and missing. He was getting all flustered. I'm like, dude, did you think we would come out here and you just start draining threes?
Yeah.
Like that's not how life works. You're going to be bad. Like you have to shoot a bunch of times and then you get the joy of making one.
I get it, though. Have you been on the golf course? That's how I'm on the golf course.
I know, me too. Yeah, we get frustrated.
Yeah,
but
you get
like,
real
you
frustrated.
Can't be good at anything
I
right
know.
away.
Like golf's the perfect analogy. It's just like if you don't put the time and the energy and the effort in, like you're gonna be. Don't have high expectations for your performance that day.
Or also, you could hit 10 in a row where you're like, "Oh, I've got it now," and then you just don't.
That's the worst thing that could happen to you, though, because then it's like the like the Instagram people and like these like young comics who like they go out and they like crush it, right? And it's your crowd. And it's like it's
your friends.
Everything's set up for you to succeed.
Sure.
Like, so then they're posting clips but when you really break down their jokes, you're like, just because people are laughing does not mean that
just because you did one racist joke that got all the animals at Kill Tony's audience to laugh doesn't mean you're a real comedian.
No, you know who the real comedian is? The guys who headlined bowling alleys in Daytona, Florida.
I performed yesterday for 80 hot gay guys at a place called Log Cabin in a private Airbnb.
Nice.
Literally in front of a pool. And there was only 2 women or 3 women there.
Shirt on or off?
I performed with clothes.
Okay.
But man, talk about a tough crowd as far as like they're just a bunch of gay Republicans who are like, all right, go. And I'm like, wait, do I make fun of it? Like, go. I mean, it was literally, but like, yeah, that's you got to be able to know how to do a clean set, a dirty set, a corporate.
By the way, isn't that great when you're doing a show and you feel like their opinion is all right, go. Like that's how you felt.
Luckily, they were the nicest guys in the world.
Next.
Better be funny.
Also, just because I was doing well, they're like, everyone was like, well, yeah, but they just wanted to fuck you. I was like, that's not true either. But even if it is true, they're not going to laugh at a joke. The whole thing was hilarious.
So did you hit?
I did great, and they were super nice. And I was like, this is my favorite audience ever. But
that's
also,
great.
like, that's pretty intimidating to like, walk into a place and like, you're gonna perform over there by the pool, and like, I was just like, oh, geez, this is gonna be stressful.
Here's a megaphone.
So stressful.
Man, I am getting lit up online right now, and it's so foreign for me. I can't figure out if it's the demo of like the people following this account or what. But it's making no sense to me.
They're lighting you up for what?
So
negatively?
Yes.
Okay.
So you know how like I don't rock the boat, right?
I know you and all your beach friends are the most passive people I've ever met. Someone could punch you in the face. He'd be like, maybe he's having a bad day. It's the crazy. Like you're the most frustrated. You, Dano, all you guys. You were like. A terrible thing will happen.
South Bay guys you're talking about? The guys
yes,
on the west side?
terrible thing will happen, and I'll be like, dude, that was wrong. And you guys are like, well, you know.
Hey, man, when
you're so nice
when you can
chill.
look at the ocean every day, it allows
it's
you to be a little
a
chill.
strong suit, but it is like, I'm like, sometimes I just want to talk shit, and these aren't the guys to do it with.
Yeah, man, look, I just want to make people giggle and whatever. So, like one of my favorite things is coming across a clip on, Instagram or whatever, and knowing that it's going to probably go viral.
Okay.
And like coming up with just the simplest, clever little like
comment.
Yeah.
I do it all the time.
Like, so like I had this one where a guy, it's this dude who he's like being prosecuted for something, right? And the lawyer's like reading his web browser history, and the dude's just sitting there and like trying to act natural.
God, yeah,
and the lady's like, these are the things he Googled between the hours of 10 to 11. How to bury a body. How long does it take for a body to smell? What ingredients should I buy to dispose of a body?
Yeah.
And then he's just sitting there like,
Hey,
and so I commented, bro spent the morning clicking accept cookies, like that was it. And like, I have like 100,000 likes on that one comment. Right? So I come across this other clip the other day, and it's just a little excerpt from a documentary. And the documentary is entirely about real human beings that are named James Bond.
Cool.
Right? So it's like 4 different dudes. 2 of them are black, 2 of them are white. So it's not a racial thing, right? It's just an array of guys who have to go through their life named James Bond.
Okay.
And they're talking about how they've all had the shit beat out of them by police officers because they were asked what their names were, and the police officer thought they were being smart asses.
That's a strange leap.
Yeah.
I've been a smartass with cops a lot. They didn't beat the fuck out of me, but all right, I'll go with the premise.
Yeah, there's probably always more context.
Yeah. All I said was Bond, James Bond, and then he hit me with a nightstick.
So I just wrote, hey fellas, maybe go by Jimmy in certain situations, right? Like pretty innocent comment, you know? And I'm getting lit up on that
Really?
thing. People are just like, you're not allowed to give nicknames to a cop. Oh, real smart guy giving a fake name to a cop. And this guy, another racist. And I'm just like, how are you guys making the leap that was a hateful comment?
Yeah,
like, I understand if one person
Pretty
is dumb
racist
enough
what you said, though. Pretty fucking racist.
But if you're gonna
man.
live in the comments, you got to be ready for that.
Well,
because that's the problem. I live in these comments, dude. If you, I am always commenting the most ridiculous shit like underneath these
I follow
videos.
you.
Yeah, it's so fun for me. And dude, like occasionally I'll read the comments to my comment, and it's hilarious to watch these people tailspin. But I think that they live in this unreal world too. So like we're all just, when we're in there, it's different, you know?
Fantasy world.
Yeah, I don't know. What I think it is I think a lot of people named the James Bond are following that account because they produced the movie.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like they're just sensitive.
Yeah.
It's not as easy as you think.
Oh, yeah, that's their
sounds like you guys
thing.
are all kind of
Jimmy
jackasses.
Bond.
I can't just say Jimmy.
Yeah.
It's-
Maybe
yeah.
you guys deserve to take a punch. I don't know.
I love stuff like that. That's the kind of comment I would be like, I'd have beat the shit out of this guy. Like just something like that. Just go hard.
And
And
then,
then Instagram would flag it, say you're bullying.
Instagram does a great thing now where it says this looks like a comment that would get in, so
Yeah.
you can immediately hit.
Still publish.
No, I always go, oh, I won't.
I don't
And then
edit.
it makes me creatively rewrite a one that won't get that little warning. Because
always
I don't want to
post
get in
stuff.
trouble.
They
It's not that I want to get in trouble. I don't want my account to get like in some sort
Flagged.
of trouble, so
Yeah.
that now I'm not gaining.
yeah, they're gonna
followers.
spend 2 weeks trying to get your account.
It's the
back up
worst.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
One time they punished me for like 4 months. That was a terrible 4 months.
Well, I do think also that I went back to rewatch the clip because I'm like, was this like a racial thing and I just missed it or
You're
something?
so nice.
And
He's
so-
like rattled by. I don't want.
Yeah, I
to
went back to
think
get
that-
context to see if it was
Maybe I need to take
yeah.
responsibility.
He's like, should I delete the comment?
So I went back and watched it, and to be fair, the end of the clip is one of the black James Bonds saying, and I had to go do 6 months of time because the cop says that I was obstructing justice by telling him my name or whatever. And then the white guy goes, yeah, we had a laugh about it once you realized it was my real name.
Yeah, that seems like a
Yeah,
juxtaposition.
there's a little injustice there, so I do apologize.
That's
on that
very
regard.
funny.
That's all right.
Hey, circling back to Jeff, though, we were talking about the whole Keys stuff and everything. We went and did a gig together in Florida, and it wasn't just the Keys; it was the whole South.
What
We
a
were doing the
fun
whole South
run,
Florida,
too,
and I'm
yeah.
from Miami, so I was super excited to rent a car and take Jeff to all my favorite food places. Right, so we go to a burger place out the gate, right. And he's like ordering a salad. And I'm like, oh, man, you just gearing up for the weekend or whatever, you know? And he's like, oh, no, I don't eat meat. And I go, wait, what?
What?
And he's like, yeah, I stopped eating meat.
That's your worst
Blasphemy.
nightmare.
Yeah.
Worst nightmare, dude.
And I go, man, I mean, I support you, but it just would have been good information to have because I like mapped out every seafood restaurant.
We can do
I was
it
gonna
now,
take
though.
him to. Well, that was the thing. So we go
Well-
through the whole weekend. And then, like, a few months later, he calls me up and he goes, Dave, I have huge news. And I'm like, what is it? And he's like, big news, big news. And I'm like, oh, thinking like, Jeff got like some TV show and it's gonna launch all of us, and he's like taking us all with him, and it's like,
No.
man, I'm so excited for him, and like, you deserve it, buddy. And he's like, yeah, I started eating meat again. I come over to your barbecue, and I'm like, oh,
that's cool.
That's
Not
really
as
good
exciting.
news.
Cool,
Yeah,
man.
cool, man. See you Saturday.
Yeah, you missed the trip, Jeff. Like that, that'd have been good news back in the.
Well, then his justification for not eating meat was that he met a pig and they became friends.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
it's
Yeah,
about
yeah.
And
checks
I was
out.
like, so why are you eating meat now? You met another pig or
I met a
cow
different
that was a real
pig that I
dick or
dated,
something?
and she told me to eat meat.
Oh, man. Really 180, huh?
Yeah, it is. That was the truth, though. Like I was like petting this pig. He was like a dog, and I was like, why am I eating this animal? It's like the sweetest thing in the world. And also, all of that is in the frame of a woman. I was with a woman named Kim who was like, you don't touch, like we don't eat meat in this place. And so I was like, all right, I loved her, and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna. She's making all the food anyways.
Oh, yeah. If she makes it, you eat whatever.
That'd be funny if you were a vegetarian for like 3 months and you didn't even realize it. You were just eating what she made.
Serious. That's what it felt like. Yeah.
You're like, oh, hey, we don't eat meat anymore, huh?
Yeah.
babe?
Yeah,
All right.
no,
It's
you
been a while.
notice, you notice right away. There's no way to secretly be a vegetarian.
I keep trying to talk my wife into letting me get a pet pig. I would love
Oh, really?
a pet pig. I've heard they're awesome
cook?
pets. Well, no, I would. I mean, if another pandemic happens or something, or there's a shortage, I'll cook that.
Terry Bradshaw on his ranch, he has like a bunch of pigs, and it's the only animal he won't even walk into that little pen.
Yeah.
He won't even look at them because he knows they're going to be slaughtered
Yeah.
and eaten. Because he eats them, but then they donate the meat for the pigs to like some sort of thing. That's the whole reason they have them. And he's like, they're too cute, man. I can't go in there. He goes, I can't even look at them.
When I was a kid, my dad went to a auction for with his fishing club buddies and got hammered and bought an entire cow, right? A slaughtered cow, right?
Okay.
So this entire cow, all butchered up, supposed to show up at our house, and my mom's the next day is like, what are we gonna do with all this meat? So literally they had to go buy an
Another
extra
freezer,
fridge and a freezer and put it in the garage, and we were preparing for this cow to come, right? And so it shows up and it's like a 4-H cow, right? That's how what they do. These kids, they show these cows, and then when they mature, they slaughter them, and that's what the cows. And so they put a picture of the little girl who raised the cow, hugging it, and the cow's name and the backstory. And I'm like, we're not sending 15 cents a month to some orphan that we're we're gonna eat this cow. I could have gone without the backstory.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I was only 10 at the time, and I'm just like, wait, someone had this cow as a pet. But I'm
This
sure
is
I still
Rebecca's favorite
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah.
But those 4-H babes are good like that. They're literally like, oh, this was my favorite cow. It's big now.
Yeah,
Just literally-
they know that's the cow's
Right.
life cycle.
Yeah.
That's give it the best life you can, and then when it's mature, it's
Nate has a great joke about free-range chickens, how they'll explain to you how the chickens. He's like, well, don't kill that one. That one's got a great life.
Yeah.
Here, give me one of those sad chickens who lives
Yeah,
in
cage.
close quarters and just wants to be put to death.
yeah.
Do you guys
kill me, eat me?
Yeah, but someone.
Eat me.
Do you guys think if you had to catch your own food, you guys could do it?
Yeah, it's in all of us for sure.
You think you could do it nowadays?
Well, I mean, I'm glad that I
This
don't.
guy's getting
have to.
teary-eyed over a dog that came
I
in the
know,
room.
yeah, that's true. Well, I think I don't feel that towards a cow
Yeah.
So
at
you,
all.
if you couldn't go to a
Or
restaurant,
birds.
you had to go catch your own food. You think you could do it? What are you
Yeah,
gonna
it's in you.
What are you gonna do?
I'd kill it and learn how to.
What are you gonna catch? What are you gonna kill?
I'm guessing birds, and then
You go bird.
I'd kill some birds, some chickens,
Yeah.
pheasant, all that kind of
Well,
stuff.
this is a multi.
Cow's a pretty easy one to kill, you
Yeah.
know? But that's a
Yeah,
lot of
but
meat.
you gotta go do that.
And if you cut
could you
the meat
kill a
wrong,
cow?
I could kill it.
This sounds like you need to give us more context because, do we have guns? Can we go hunting?
Yeah.
Then
You
we'll
got a
kill
gun.
anything.
You got a gun.
Because you're making it sound like we have to go wrestle an
know.
elk or something.
Yeah.
No, you got a gun. You just got to go catch. There's no more restaurants. There's no more grocery stores. You have to go catch your own food.
We'd all be
kill
able to
it.
adapt, don't you think?
I don't think. I don't know if I could.
Really?
Pussy.
What about fishing?
I mean, yeah, I could fish.
Yeah,
I
I'd
hate
fish, yeah.
fishing.
I would live off fish for a
but,
while
like, go
while
ca-
I learned how to kill cows and
Like,
shit.
go kill a deer. Like,
I could do that.
I don't know. Like,
My plan for the
no
apocalypse.
way, dude.
Oh, I could do it.
My plan for the apocalypse is I'm going.
How are you gonna sneak up on a deer?
Well, no, I'm saying I didn't say that I have the skills now to kill a deer. What I'm saying is that I have it in me to learn how to kill a deer, and it wouldn't bother me at all.
Okay.
Yeah. If I had to hunt a dog, I would feel tremendously bad about it. But I think if it's the only way I could eat, I'd probably kill a fucking dog too.
But do you think would you learn? You don't have somebody to tell you how to do it.
Got YouTube,
to go
right?
kill the deer, dude. I guess you could. do it
Hunger
too.
is an incredible motivator.
Oh, for sure. You seen that movie where they kill each other because the plane crashes? I mean, you do it after.
Oh,
a
so
while.
you
Never
could do
beaten
that?
butt.
Could you do that?
No, I don't think I could do that. But also, if I don't eat for a month and I'm freezing cold.
My apocalypse plan is I'm gonna go to the Bahamas, get my family there. If you're on an island, you can be very conscious of you obviously have a perimeter, right? And I grew up spearfishing and fishing, and so I think that the ocean could provide. I would be better at that than I would in the mountains of Montana
Sure,
or something.
yeah.
you know?
Okay, so that's your strategy.
So I would crab and conch and
Dude, that'd be
fish
amazing.
and
You'd be eating
lobster,
great.
right? Yeah, and then also the tourism thing that's real popular now is there's these islands where you can swim with the pigs. Right?
Oh yeah.
So-
Every fucking hot chick goes there. Yeah.
yeah. So now, there was a place where it literally, there's some pigs on the island from when some settlers came through, 200 years ago or whatever, and now the population's boomed. So that was a natural place, and it became a tourist destination. So now, what a lot of the Bahamians figured out was, well, we can just make a pig island anywhere we want.
Yeah.
So now that's what a lot of the cruise ship islands have done or whatever. So the particular island that I would stay on during the apocalypse has one of those pig islands a stone's throw away. So
Yeah.
I'll just go over and get a pig every once a month and slaughter that.
I love it.
Yeah.
You're like the only guy that knows about this, though.
Right, he's acting like he's the only one going through the apocalypse.
Yeah, well,
They're also going to go to Pig Islands, and it's going to be hard to...
well, let me tell you something. There's going to be a lot fewer people vying for those pigs over there than there's going to be here driving out to the Redlands to
He's
kill
in
a
a
pig.
secret apocalypse. He's like, I'm
Just
the only
him.
one that
And they're
knows.
like, why is he acting like this?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's the apocalypse.
Well, I mean, we skipped the part where I have to eliminate all the other people on the island.
Oh, that's true.
That's the part.
Well, Catalina Island has like a boar problem, and I was like, how the fuck did boars even get here? Everyone else just is like nodding at the tour.
He
Yeah.
took the
And I
trolley.
was like, wait, how did a boar get here? We're on an island. And he goes, one of the guys who first came to Catalina Island like brought 2 boars, and like it became a thing.
Dude, there's buffalo running around over there, and you're wondering about the boars?
Well, it's frustrating to me. It's like, well, like we ruin everything. Humans, like literally, like you go to like Florida, there's black panthers, there's all these like wildly tropical like snakes and scorpions and spiders. They have panthers, and you're like, how did that happen? They go, the Everglades, like all these fuckers brought them over
Well,
here.
black panthers, I think, are the or at least the tan ones are actually native to there.
What, jaguars?
I don't know about that. Like the car?
Well, jaguars. There's actual jaguars in Florida.
Well, no, you know it's the
You said tan ones. I thought you were calling a black panther that's tan a jaguar.
no the Florida Panthers are the tan ones.
Oh, I didn't
Those
know
are
that.
native, yeah.
I thought the Black Panthers was a group.
Well,
I thought it was a
that too.
movie.
That too.
Yes. So
The pythons are what are super invasive in the Everglades.
Yeah, it
because
sucks.
people get them as pets, and then
Yeah.
when they got to be this big, they're like, "Well, I'm just gonna go throw it in the
But
Everglades."
that's my point. It's like we ruin it. We like bring all these animals here that have no business even being on the continent.
Lionfish,
And
dude.
it eats your neighbor's baby, and you're
Yeah.
like, well, I just wanted a snake.
Do you remember that scene from The Naked Gun where he's got the lionfish in the tank and he kills it with a ballpoint pen or whatever? And it was like, oh, that's a $10,000 fish or whatever. Like those real like pretty looking. They got like the big like fins out here, whatever. You'd recognize it if you saw it. But those were in the theory is in Atlantis in Nassau. They had a bunch of them in a tank, and they're from Asia. They're like not
Supposed to be here.
yeah, anywhere over here in this
Right.
ocean, right? And at some point, some water got flushed from that tank out into the bay.
Really?
And it must have like eggs in it or something. So then these lionfish, which have no predators over here, just flourished like wildfire, and they're everywhere, all the way down in the Caribbean, the Gulf of Mexico, all over the Bahamas. So, and nobody knew how to eat them or kill them or cook them or anything. So there was literally these like campaigns to teach people that lionfish are delicious and you should kill them. And they run like lionfish derbies because and now when you go, it's a little thinned out. But for a while, man, you'd go over there and every little coral reef rock would just have like 20 of them on there.
Really?
They were just taking over. Dude.
Yeah, it
They're
is one of those
cockroaches.
thing. Like if someone had a time machine and they came like from the oldies came to now, they'd be like, why is there palm trees like in California? And like, why do they like I always say like a Subway sandwich shop would blow the mind of someone from like 200 years ago, because they'd be like, they have tomatoes and cucumbers, like, and
All
it's
of it.
February, like they wouldn't even be able to understand. Like we have all these animals everywhere, all the plants everywhere, all the it's just we're just fucking up it all up.
If I had a time machine, I think the number one thing I'd be excited to use it for is going back to the beginning of the weekend to tell myself exactly what I should pack for that weekend. Because I hate deciding what to pack.
Very specific need for
Yeah,
your time
that
machine.
is a- Hey,
I'd be like, yo, you
God,
gotta do that
don't
shirt.
give this guy a time machine.
Jesus.
I like that everyone else is trying to fix racism or some
Yeah.
bullshit.
He's just like, what should
Man,
I
I'd be
pack?
carrying
Yeah.
on every weekend, dude.
Should we get into the?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna ask you how much it would cost for you to do certain things. You let us know.
I grew up in the car business, so I kind of like where this is going.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, what
perfect.
did you said that earlier? What does that mean? You were like a mechanic or what?
No, my grandpa started one of the first Cadillac dealerships in Miami, Florida.
Okay.
And so then my dad and my uncle went into the business, and then me and
Sold
my
them?
cousin. Yeah,
Detailing?
my family owned a dealership. I did everything.
Oh, really?
When I was a little kid, I would work in the parts department, and I'd
Okay.
wipe dust off the shelves. I learned how to
Back when cars were machines.
Yeah,
now all
I-
cars are computers.
drive stick shift, just driving customers' cars from the back lot up to
Yeah.
the mechanic's bin.
Yeah, young people don't even know what the fuck you're talking about. Stick shift. They go,
Yeah.
what is this guy? 100?
Yeah, I worked every department, man, up
Interesting.
until I was about 30.
Okay.
I was a valet boy, and then I was also a detail boy. I loved it.
You would be killer at detail.
Dude, I was the worst.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not that I wasn't good at it. It's just that like at that chapter of my life, I like just wanted to have fun as much as possible.
Oh, yeah.
And to have a full-time job, I was like, if I go to bed, I'm right back at work. So I would just stay up all night. So by the time I got to work, I'd be like exhausted. They caught me sleeping in like the wash bay like so many different times because the car would be warm, and I'd just like turn the heat on and like fall asleep.
Yeah.
Dude, one time I was the porter who would, like, when customers came to pick up their car, I'd run to the back lot.
Yeah.
And I'd have to put it through the car wash and then bring it up to the customer, you know? And so I run back and I'm getting into this Saturn, right? And it had a bike rack on the roof, you know?
Sure.
This big metal bike rack. And so I go, oh, cannot run this through the
machine wash.
Yeah. So I start driving back, and I just my habit of just driving cars all day, I forgot like that 5 seconds, and I drove it through. Yeah, and so I pull it up to the customer, and I get out, and I'm like, "Here you go, sir." And he goes, "What happened to my car?" And I go, "We fixed it for you."
It's all jacked
and
up.
I just see his face, and I turned around, and it looked like a transformer on top of it. I was like,
God,
"Brrr."
yeah, that's terrible.
And there was this mechanic that was like sitting nearby, like in the service drive, and I just hear him go, "Good thing your dad owns the place." And I'm like, "Dude, shut up, bro! Don't let him know that. He's gonna sue the shit out of us." You know?
That is so funny.
All right, here we go. How much to next time you do a barbecue party or whatever your show? How much to every piece of meat you have to shape it like a penis?
I'll do that for free.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Just everything.
You said you wanted meat, dude.
yeah. I mean, look, there's a lot of sexual puns and phallic, nature in barbecue.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty easy one. When you go to these barbecue festivals, like 90% of the team names are just like, "Beat my meat barbecue out of Phoenix, Arizona."
Yeah, he usually
You
wears
know?
a hat that says meat. It
Yeah.
just says it right on there. You're like, that guy either loves barbecue or he's a gay dude.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of the...
Yeah. Coming in third place, sloppy seconds pork.
Right,
It's
yeah.
all that
That's
stuff.
funny.
Yeah.
All right, so you do that for free. That works.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
How much to steal a car?
Like
It's so simple. How much to steal a car?
Yeah.
How long does he have to steal it? And
You just got to steal it. I mean,
And then
you
this
could
person never gets
leave
the
it.
car.
Yeah, you're just stealing the car.
So I need some cash, and that's the
can't
only
get
way
caught.
I can get it.
Interesting.
Could you do
Cameras
it?
are everywhere
Do you
now.
think you could even do it? Well, you could wear a mask. Like you could.
God, what a rush.
Would you even know how to steal a car?
So I just saw an Instagram reel like this week. Some drunk lady fell asleep like in her car. My algorithm knows I have a DUI. I haven't shut up about it. So this lady's like fall asleep in her car, and this guy's like knocking on the window like, "Yo, homie, you asleep?" She's like, "Huh, I ain't asleep." And she's like super hammered, and the car starts to creep and hits a sign. He's like, "Oh, you fucked your shit up." And then she gets out because she's like, "I ain't drunk." She's clearly drunk.
Yeah.
And then that guy's like, "I'm gonna help
You're
this chick."
drunk.
Yeah, I'm gonna help this chick. So he gets in the car and just steals her car.
steals her car.
And I think that he circles back to like bring it back to her, but he drove it pretty far.
Yeah.
And I was like, what an asshole. But also he kind of saved her from the
Yeah,
DUI.
taught her a
and,
lesson.
whatever,
He's a
but
hero, dude.
in a way.
I don't think you could pay me enough to steal a car, man, because that's such a violation, dude. Like, it's the worst feeling in the world when your car is
Stealing.
gone. Because
Yeah.
then even you get it back, and you're like, man, some people were smoking
Like a
crack
little
in my
rape.
car.
Yeah.
So one of my jobs at the dealership was there was this one summer where Saturns that particular year was so easy to steal, right? They only had like 5 tumblers, and you could just take some scissors, like those orange handled scissors.
Yeah.
You could just shove them into the ignition and turn it, and it would start, right?
Saturn keys.
So gang members were stealing Saturns as their initiation, and when they would find them abandoned somewhere, they would take them directly to us. And then one of my jobs was I had to clean out all the stuff that was obviously not the owner's stuff. It was the trash that was left. And I was like 14 years old, and there was like brass knuckles and Playboys and
Whoa.
like nunchucks.
So
and,
the thieves were cool.
yeah, they were. So by the end of summer, dude, I had a cool.
Yeah.
I was like, what are we supposed to do with that? We're like, throw it away. I go, can I keep it?
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, sure.
It's like the Rebellion starter kit. It's just like literally
Yeah.
all the like naughty things. Wait, there's a price. Though.
You don't
For
have
$1
to,
million
like-
dollars. That like you
$1 million, I would steal a car.
Right.
Yeah.
10 grand.
I would because it's not worth it for 10 grand. I'm gonna get if I get caught now.
Well, you don't have to trash the car. You're just stealing it, relocating it, putting it somewhere, getting out.
Yeah. I think I could do it or I would do it for like $100 grand.
100 grand, you'd steal
Yeah,
a car?
I think
I
six
saw
figures.
I feel like I might be able to wiggle my way out of it if I get caught. You know, I'll be like,
Oh, you think you get...
yeah, because we're comics, you know. So now that I'm putting this, they'll play this in court. But I think I would be like, oh my god, I thought that was my friend Josh's car. I literally was trying to play a prank on my friend Josh.
That's a good way to do it.
Oh my god, my friend Josh has this exact car. I feel terrible. Let me pay you. I'll give him like 20 grand, and they'll be like, oh, it's understandable. He's a nice guy. He's a comedian. He gave me $20,000 for the misunderstanding,
And
then
I'd be
I
like,
get
yeah.
80 grand.
All
And
you
I'd
gotta
be
do
like,
to-
I don't even have that kind of car. He's lying. He's making
I
the whole
think
thing
I
up.
could wiggle my way out.
Okay.
Of it. Yeah.
all you got to do to get out of anything these days is just go, you've been pranked.
Oh
Look, we got a
my
camera over
God,
here. We got a camera over
These
here.
idiots online. It's a prank, dude. It's a prank, dude. It's a prank. It's
No,
like,
no,
no.
that's a stunt.
Yeah, you literally fucked with this guy,
Yeah.
and we did like the most racist shit ever at a grocery store.
Literally, dude.
And when he tries to grab you by the throat, you go, "It's a prank! It's a prank! It's a prank! There's a camera!" It's like,
Yeah.
no, he should still pop
Yeah.
your head like a little zit.
Yeah, they'll just go to like a specific neighborhood and yell out racial slurs and
Yeah.
then be like, no, it's a prank. And it's like, we don't care.
I know this is a
It's a
generalization,
hateful
but
prank.
young people in general like have no idea what a prank is.
Yeah.
They just like shave their girlfriend's head while she's sleeping, and they're like, "It's a prank, babe," and you're like, "That's not a prank."
No.
So mean.
Dude, I saw one the other day where it was parents doing it to kids.
Yeah.
And they're pretending to be mad. Like, you stained the carpet. How dare you do? And the kid's like, Mom, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't
yeah,
me.
yeah,
And the
little
mom
kids.
went, yeah. And I go, bro, you prank, you can't just say it's a prank and
Right.
erase the past
I
10
know.
minutes of trauma that you just caused that kid. you
Except for the Halloween candy one. That one's pretty funny.
know? That is pretty
I
great.
like
Which one's that?
when they tell the kids that
Jimmy
they ate
Kimmel
all their
stole your
Halloween
candy.
candy
I like
and the
that.
kids have a meltdown.
Or the I like the Grinch ones. We've talked about that where the
Yeah.
relative dresses up like the Grinch, comes and steals all the presents. I think that's kind of funny. I saw one today. This is one of those old like.
See, like, that's being clever.
It's kind of funny. Yeah.
It's not just coming in and being like, well, we've been robbed.
Right.
What? It's like you have the Grinch like sneaking around.
Yeah,
like,
it's
you
cute.
put some effort into it.
Well, there was one I saw just literally yesterday. It was a guy. There's a long line at the grocery store. It's all fake, but a guy says, "Hey man, I just need to buy this one thing. Can I go in front of you real quick? I'm in a hurry." And the guy's
Yeah.
like, "Sure." And then they beep it, but then confetti goes and a light goes off.
Yeah.
And they go, "You're the 1 millionth customer," and they give him a big check for $1 million, and they're like interviewing him. And then the guy's like, I let him go, and then they're like,
Yeah,
"What?"
that's-
Sorry.
And he goes, "I let him go ahead of me," and they're like, "Sir,
That's
well,
kinda
how do you feel about winning the money?"
That's
And
kinda
they
funny,
but
though.
they just keep the camera on the guy, like,
See, that's
"What?"
clever.
And it also becomes funny when they tell him,
It's
"Hey,
not-
don't worry, he's not getting $1 million. This is all bullshit. You were a good sport." But like, it was such a funny.
That's funny.
prank. Yeah,
That's
it's really
really funny.
elaborate. All right, so for $100 grand, I'll steal a car for you.
Yeah,
What's your
Christians
price?
probably would do it for fucking
Oh, Christians will do it for $500.
No, I do it for free.
Free.
Just for the experience.
This guy's the best. Why don't we have a camera on
I
here?
don't know because he's ugly.
We did it for George Dulcich, and but
I know,
George
but-
would never do anything.
but he would break the camera. I think that's probably just looks thing, you know.
You have a Waluigi mustache.
What's your price? You didn't say.
I think if for 50 grand I would steal a car.
Yeah. Do you think you'd be good at it?
No.
I don't know if I would know how to steal it.
Actually,
That's the
I think
hard
our
part.
prices should go lower. If I'm so confident that I could wiggle out of it, I think I should be a little cheaper.
You should be doing it for free too.
Not for free. Dude, I don't run those kind of risks.
Yeah. See, I
Because
don't.
the internet's not going to have a great sense of humor about it. They'd be like, comedian steals car. But it's like, you know, like when Winona Ryder was like shoplifting.
Yeah.
Like it still haunts her. Like she's like a grown woman. She's like in projects and you'll still see the comments like, didn't this bitch shoplift? And you're like, oh, God damn it.
Come
Yeah, relax. She had a bad day. You know? Dude, we missed the biggest opportunity one time where I live. You know, like I've built all my smokers and everything's like in my front yard. You know. So I got a big TV out there with the fire pit and whatever. Like my front yard is like a sports bar, right? And I got great neighbors on both sides. And so we call it the compound, right? Because it's like all my neighbors hang out in my yard when I'm in
Yeah,
town.
it's
on the
ideal.
weekends.
It's perfect.
Yeah, whatever.
You are like the mayor of El Segundo.
I've been told that.
Yeah, but that's awesome. It's a good feeling to be like, it's like school or something. Like you're like the cool guy.
The
Like,
best.
let's
You
go to his
around,
house.
Yeah, run into people everywhere you go.
Him and his wife are riding bikes around, waving at him. All right, go ahead.
So we're sitting out there one night, right? And people are starting to peel off, you know? And my wife goes to bed and my buddy's wife goes to bed. So now the last two people are just me and my buddy Kevin, right? And where I've built my TV wall, his driveway is 10 feet, like right behind it. It's just right behind it, right? So he goes to leave to go to bed and he comes back and he goes, did my wife say she was going somewhere? And I go, nah, she was going to put your kid to bed, right? And he goes, my car's missing. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah. He's like, it was there, like, you know. And so he asked his wife. She's like, yeah, it was there when I went to bed. I'm like, did someone just steal your car 20 feet from where we're sitting here drinking beers and watching a documentary on American gladiators? Like, you know,
Yeah,
like,
that's crazy.
And so like it totally did. Someone just stole it and went. So now me and him, we're a couple beers in, so probably not the best idea.
Right.
We get in my car to go like look for him.
Yeah, we're
right?
gonna find this guy. Yeah.
And so we don't find him. And we come back, and so the wives are talking to the police officer that's now showed up, right? And while we're all out there doing that, our other neighbor, you know, who's our buddy in our compound, is coming home from a bachelor party. And so his wife's like propping him up, trying to get him out of the Uber and walk him inside. And I'm like, dude, maybe I should go help them so that he's not falling down drunk like with these cops here.
Right, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So I go over. While I was over helping him, the cop looks at my wife and my buddy Kevin, everyone, and goes, yo, do you want me to fuck with your friend? And
That's great.
Yeah, and they were like, no, you'll really scare his wife and whatever. And so then we get him, and I mean, he was
What a great cop.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's the best.
He would have totally fallen for it too, because our buddy Tyler
course.
was like, let me talk to the police officer.
Yeah,
And I'm like, no, buddy, you should go
I'm
to
that
bed.
guy. I always think that I'll be able to communicate it.
So then they told me this like 30 minutes later. They were like, yeah, the cop said you would fuck with it.
That's
and I was
great.
like, and you guys said no?
Yeah, you should have totally
You
done
should have
that.
pulled your phone out and said, yes, please, you know?
dude.
Here's a weird thing that happened. Our phones are the keys to like smart car, like Teslas and shit.
Yeah.
So when you go into like a coffee shop, if you're near enough, the key still thinks
Works.
Yeah, it's still
Oh,
like
yeah,
whatever, unless you make a
Oh,
effort.
let's steal your car then.
Well, unless you make an effort to hit lock or
Yeah.
something, which you should be doing. But if you just kind of walk in and you're just going to get coffee or something, a lot of times it's still in range. So I don't remember who I was with, but we parked. I might have been with you. This story might be with you. Where I get out of the coffee shop, we go in, we get our coffee. When we get back in, I look in the car and I'm like, I don't think this is our car.
Yeah.
And my friend was like, what? We were parked right in front of a car that was exactly like ours, but we didn't recognize any of the shit inside.
You got
but
in the
because
wrong
they
car?
were close enough and we were close up, like the keys were just like leaving
nowhere,
everything.
yeah.
Dude, it was terrifying.
Yeah, I got
and
in the
just
wrong
being in the car,
car.
we're like, oh no, how are we gonna explain this?
And then
Like,
you
we
hope no
both-
one sees you.
Dude,
yeah.
it was so
Oh,
embarrassing.
that's
And we got
stressful.
out, we shut the door, like walked to our car, like got in. It was like so scary.
Totally doable. Something like that happened to me too, man. Yeah, it could totally happen. These
I don't
days.
remember who it
I'm
was.
an old school fob guy. I like to hit the little button that's got the padlock on it.
Oh, yeah.
And hear my car go chuk.
It is better, yeah.
My wife gets so mad at me because she's the one that does the keys in my purse, and I hit the little button.
Yeah.
And it just like I'm not OCD on many things, but on that, every time we go somewhere, I go, "Is the car locked?" She's like, "Yeah, it's locked." Why do you ask me every time? I go, "Because I don't see your hand go click
Sure, I
and
need
hear
to
the
know.
thing go click." Like, and I need
Twice
that.
I've
I
left
need that.
my car at valet. I go to a movie, I eat lunch, I do whatever I'm doing at the Grove. I come back and my car is still there, and they're like, "You walked away with the key," and I'm like, So it just sat there at the front of valet for an hour or 3 hours sometimes. Like twice I've done that.
Well, you
and they're
just-
like, we don't know who you are. Like we can't just wander the mall asking if someone drives a Jeep. I was like, oh shit.
That's fun.
Man, one time I was like late for a flight at like, 5 a.m. or whatever. And I pulled into the wrong rental car company.
Oh, that
And I went
sucks.
over the tire thing.
Oh shit.
And no one was working yet. It was just a drop off of the drop box at that time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, this is where I'm returning it.
Yeah,
'Cause I
you're
can't get
stuck.
out now.
I
Flat
think that
tires
happens
and
a
all?
lot.
Yeah, so I had to
No,
like
you can't go out though.
Oh, you didn't go over the wrong way.
I had to
Okay.
wait a few hours and then call the company and just be. I left a note on the
That
window
happens
too.
all the time.
Yeah. Oh, dude, listen to this one. So when we won the grand championship at the barbecue festival in Key West, we partied a little bit that night, and I was already on fumes because not only was I fishing and competing in the barbecue thing every day, I was headlining Comedy Key West at night. And then after it was over, people were like, "You want to go have beers?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go have beers." So I didn't sleep for like 4
you're
days.
having fun.
right?
Yeah, that's how it works.
So then we have a few beers celebrating the championship, and I oversleep the next morning. Right, I got to get to the airport to make. And Key West Airport's tiny. If you miss your flight, you're stuck there for 2 days. And so
I didn't know that.
So I'm hauling ass I'm running red lights, whatever, and I can't find. It's a tiny airport. I can't find where to return the rental cars. Like the signs aren't. So finally, I just pull into any space in the parking garage.
Yep, there it is.
And I just left. I just left the keys in the car, and I ran to the airport. And I make it to my gate on time, and I'm like, I cannot believe I'm going to make this flight. Like, that was such a close call, right?
Yeah.
So now I go over to get coffee, and I'm ordering coffee, and the dude who's working the coffee place goes, "Hey, man, congratulations on your barbecue win. I was there yesterday. I saw you." And I'm like,
that's
"Oh,
great.
cool, man," right? So we're chit-chatting, and I go, "Hey, man, I left my rental car in the parking garage. Do you think it's going to be okay?" And he's like, "What company?" And I was like, "Whatever." And he goes like, "I'll get it for you, dude."
Oh, what a nice guy.
And I go, "All right." He's like, "Yeah, that guy's cool that runs." Like, everyone
Yeah.
knows each other.
That
Like,
is kind of how it works
Yeah.
too. Like especially if it's a small enough airport, that works to your advantage for sure.
I
Try that
left-
at LAX.
I
you
left
know?
a bunch of like really nice knives that they gave us,
Oh.
But I since I had to carry it on and not check my bag, I had to leave them. So I was like, "Yo, there's like $300 worth of knives in the back." I go, "If you go return that car for me, you could keep them."
Now the guy works for Cutco, some fucking. He's
Probably
got his own little
murdered
scam.
somebody with my DNA on the
Yeah, it's
knives.
terrible.
All right, we got time for one more.
Let's do it.
How much to get slapped by one of those slap boxers?
Oh, I'm terrified of those, dude.
Yeah, we talk for a living.
Yeah. Man.
Couple grand.
No, I'm gonna need at least 25 grand.
Okay.
Yeah, because that's gonna, I'm gonna have a neck injury.
How much for the female slap box?
Dude, I'm more
Why?
more scared of them, dude. Have you watched those?
You're one of these guys. You think women hit harder than men or something?
I think that probably on that particular sport.
Why?
Bro, what?
I don't know,
Have you
man.
seen how big the dudes are too?
Yeah. We're talking about the best male slap boxer and the best female slap boxer. He's gonna hit a lot harder.
I don't think it's much of a difference.
Oh, for sure it is.
And then also, when I'm walking around with the neck brace on for the next 2 months, they're like, "Who hit you?" And I'm like, "This chick
Oh
Daisy."
yeah, you don't want to say the girl. Yeah, that is true. Pride is a factor.
Yeah, right.
But they definitely hit harder. The measurements are the science is in.
Well, I don't really. I've made it this far in life without taking a true punch to the
Yeah.
face.
I'm friends with Holly Holmes. We should. How much to get a kick from her?
I don't want to. I don't like look.
It's like I don't need that.
Look, I've
25 grand?
Look, like playing sports and water polo, I maybe like gave someone a little little music under the water to
Sure.
send a message, and I've definitely taken elbows to the face, and
Sure.
I've been in a few tussles, but I've been able to diffuse any situation I've ever been in my life without taking a straight up punch.
Yeah.
I'd like to keep it that way.
So 25 grand.
25 grand minimum.
All right, that's fair.
You could
fair.
pick the gender of who hits me. All right.
Yeah. We'll
It's
pick
gonna be
a guy.
at least 25.
I'm gonna pick
It'll be a guy then.
25 grand. I'll pay off a few
I'm not
credit
letting
cards.
a woman do it. If you're giving me the option, I'm picking a guy.
The biggest guy.
Dude, they're freaks, those guys.
Oh,
So are the
man.
women. They're all freaks. It's
Too
scary.
funny.
All right, where can people find you, bub?
DaveWilliamsonComedy.com. When will this come out? Soon?
Yeah, pretty soon. A few weeks.
Next week.
Next week.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Well, if you're watching this in time, I'm going to be in Colorado for a run. I think March 6th through about the 14th. I'm going to be in Steamboat Springs, Breckenridge, Golden, Fort Collins, a couple
Nice.
other places.
Cool.
And then at the end of March, I'm going to be in Alabama. Come see me at Levity Live in Huntsville.
That's
I'm
one of
gonna
the
do
best clubs in America.
It's so fun, man. I'm going to do a show down in Birmingham as well. And then I'm going to go down to Auburn and play on my alumni water polo team. Hopefully watch Auburn do well in the basketball tournament. I'm so excited to watch them play in a bar in
Yeah.
Auburn.
No
you
one's
know?
going to pay to the game to see you at the game.
Yeah, come on. No, it's free. You can just come watch me, and we'll go to Byron's Barbecue after and maybe get a sub from Mama G's.
There
All
we
right.
go.
Well, if we got a big crowd in Alabama, there we
And,
go.
Yeah, at Dave W Comedy on Instagram is the best place to find all my stuff. That's where I do most of my posting. And now I just started at Meet Dave Barbecue.
At Meet
BBQ.
Dave.
At
So if
Meet.
you want to come see my meat, check it out
Hell
there.
yeah.
Check his meat out.
Go for it.
Josh Nelson Comedy.
JeffDye.com. Get tickets. Everything's been beautiful lately. I think most of the things are already sold out, but maybe we'll add some shows. So go to JeffDye.com. Love you.
Love you, boys.